Good afternoon, brethren. This is Big Judah coming to you guys from California. Before I begin, I want to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh. I want to acknowledge the earthly mother, who is wisdom, who is the Holy Spirit. I also want to acknowledge Yahweh Shai. I pray that the Most High blesses this quick lesson today, gives us more understanding of things that have happened to us in the past, things that are currently transpiring, and the things that are soon to come on the earth. Wanted to make a quick video today because, man, things are ramping up. If you just take a look at what's going on in the news, you'll realize that, like I've said before, the days of Esau's reign are coming to an end. And the Most High is moving rather quickly. It's getting to the point where, many people have tried to dig their heads in the sand and just, act like nothing's going on, but that's just not happening. Last weekend, we had Trump talking about imposing sanctions of 25% on Chinese goods. Yesterday, there was I guess the ATF went into a house and seized like 1,000 guns. And I was watching a video by John X. I'll try to maybe leave his information in the description box, where he was talking about how is this a move against the Patriots, and people still don't get it. Because this guy who actually, they went into his house, I guess the average home price in this neighborhood was $15 million. So you got a lot of these people that are just stockpiling weapons because they know that something's coming. We still have all this flooding going on all over the middle of the country. I guess we have flooding going on down in Texas or in the Houston area. Places that didn't even flood during Harvey are now flooding with these really suspicious rains. One of the cells dropped like 6.5 inches in 50 minutes, which is really something that's unheard of outside of a hurricane. And people still don't get it. They're still blaming weather modification, that they're just destroying their own cities and things like that. The other nations are always trying to find some natural phenomenon that'll explain what's going on. Let me tell you what it is. It's the Most High bringing judgment. I know the churches have taught that, the Most High loves everyone and wants everybody to have a great time and wants everyone to enjoy everything, and we never have to pay for past transgressions, and all we have to say is Jesus and we're good. Your churches have lied to you. I think many people are starting to come to that conclusion. Even some of these pastors now are walking away from the church because it's not beneficial for them to continue to lie. Because the only people that want to listen to these lies are people who want to stay asleep. But it was funny because the guy was talking about the Patriots. Us Patriots are being attacked by the elite, and they want to come and take away our guns, and they want gun control, and they're never going to take my guns away from me, and things like this, and and a lot of these so-called white people who have enjoyed the benefits of this country, you've been played. You've been played by the other Edomites who are on top. And that's what's happening. Now many people are realizing that they've been played. And the thing is that so many of these people have been complicit in the game. As long as it was okay, as long as they were all getting their perks and keeping all of us people of color, all the Israelites, down. But they didn't realize that when you play this game, you're going to have to pay the piper at the end. So when this guy is talking about the Patriots, us free-loving Second Amendment people who love, having our guns and this is not, we have the right to, self-determination and doing pretty much anything we want. We're free men. Well, you do understand, though, when you're saying this, you're pretty much referring to pretty much white men. as defined by the laws established in 1681. And around that time is when the law invented the category of white people. So we all really know that there's no such thing as white people. So, but the law was set up by the elites to form a 3-tier society. And really, we can't even really use that term white people, because if it was just was made up in 1681, then we really can't use that to encompass all these different people. But that's something for another video. But this law in 1681 did create a 3-tier society. It created on top the elites. Those are for sure Edomites. And then they elevated people that they called white above people of color. And they gave them some perks in society, which allowed them to think that one day they would be like the elites. But that day was never to come. So it's pretty much just setting up people in order to be the guard dogs for the elites. Kind of be that buffer between the people of color, the Hebrews, and the elites. And now these people that were in the middle, the so-called white people, are now realizing that the elites are turning against them. And it's funny because they're complaining about people taking their guns, taking away their Second Amendment rights. Well, you know what? They took away our rights from jump. As soon as they allowed us, they supposedly gave us our freedom, they made laws that said that we couldn't even bear arms. But we're going to get into that shortly. Let's talk about after 1681, some of the perks that were given to the so-called white people. You were allowed your weapons. You were allowed to get your weapons. You were allowed to get the best jobs. They were held out for you. You were the managers. You guys were the managers, the CEOs, and really many things have never changed. Okay? They made it so that women would desire you because, they gave you all the perks. They gave you the perk of housing. They allowed your ancestors, really wasn't that long ago, your parents and grandparents, to be able to buy property at ridiculously low prices and then hand down that wealth to you all the way till today. They gave you the opportunity for money. Okay? They gave you your opportunity to have anything you wanted without reprisal. They gave you guys the final authority on things such as religion. That's why you made Jesus white. They gave you the final authority as far as what is considered like, good information and bad information, like at the colleges. What is considered to be, in the mainstream as far as ways of thinking. That's what 1681 set up, and it elevated the so-called white people above people of color. We live in a patriarchal society where men rule the society. But the trade-off for being a patriarchal society and the men ruling was that men had to protect the family. But as soon as they gave us our freedom, they started taking those freedoms away. They made laws that free blacks couldn't have weapons and that we couldn't testify against whites. So even though it was a patriarchal society, white males were the center of the society. They were lifted up to be the epitome of a man. They passed laws where it was illegal for white women to marry Negroes. They made it so that we couldn't protect our women and children, just like during slavery. And then if you were to fight back, you're a criminal for trying to protect yourself and their family. And it's funny now because people will talk about affirmative action and how, that's just ridiculous and this, and that. Well, apparently you patriots have been benefiting from affirmative action on steroids for hundreds of years. And now the 1%, the 2% is about to take that um, perk away from you. And now many of you are very, very upset because now you're starting to see that the tide is turning. And many of the things that have already been happening to us, Hebrews, is now getting ready to happen to you. And now many people don't like that, you know? So these laws that were passed were just ridiculous. I mean, when you make it to the Hebrews can't protect themselves, we're not allowed to bear arms, then many of the women wanted to be protected. So that would push them into the other nation's arms. Because just like during slavery, we couldn't protect our women and our children, and now we get freed and the same thing happens again. And it's crazy because now that things are starting to change, that people are not liking the change that they see. And they for sure aren't liking it if they hear this truth about who we really are. And that's kind of like what's going on right now. Okay, that's kind of like what's going on. Because many people now are starting to see, well, if they lied about this, well, what else are they lying about? And if you start peeling back that onion, it gets to be really scary for them. Okay? It's just funny now because now I hear things like, hey, we need to stick together. We all need to come together. We're all slaves. No, we're not. You've been living in La La Land. So now they're worried about the elite taking their guns. He's like, well, this guy's going to be the first. It was in LA that they took away 1,000 guns. Are we going to be next? Are they going to come take our guns? I'll see people with their "Don't tread on me" flags in front of their houses. And, no one's going to take my gun. It's my Second Amendment right. That's exactly what happened to us. Just, you weren't worried before when you guys had all the perks. Now that you see that gravy train leaving the station, now you're upset. Now you want to band together. Now you think we should work together. Esau is going to move, especially when everybody finds out everything that they've been told is a lie. There's going to be a whole lot of pissed off people. And the thing is, that's why they're going to come after the guns, or your guys' guns, is because you're going to be really pissed off and you're armed. There's going to be a lot of upset people. They're going to be pissed off at the elites for lying to them. They're going to be pissed off at the religious people who've been lying to them in these churches. They're going to be pissed off at the government people, who've been lying to them. Like I said, it's just going to be absolute chaos. And you're already seeing it, And then one of the worst things they're going to be upset about is they're going to realize is that they have been trotting down the sons and daughters of the Most High in order to receive some perks from this society. And you're going to realize real soon that those perks are going to mean absolutely nothing. The little bit of money, the prestige, the education, the vacations, all those dainties that you were given as a perk to treat us like crap, those all have to be paid for. Even though your religions, all these, religions lie and say, oh no, you don't have to pay for anything. You don't have to pay for the sins of the Father. Yes, you do. So now you need to ask yourself, was it worth it? Were these little few perks worth just turning a blind eye to what happened to the sons and daughters of the Most High? I have a couple of scriptures real fast I want to read. Let's take a look at Obadiah chapter 1, verse 2. Now, when the people get this truth, the ones that are in the middle tier, the so-called white people, the patriots, the ones who work next to us, the ones that you guys have a little bit more perks than us, but at this point now, you're much closer to us at the bottom than you are to the elites. You never were able to get close to what the elites, are with their level. They've made a lot of promises to a lot of people, and those promises are not going to be fulfilled. And there's going to be a whole lot of upset people. We have the Most High to rely on at this time. And if you want any type of, if the Most High is calling you to have any type of mercy, I've made videos on what it is that you need to do. You need to fall on your knees and ask the Most High for mercy and start to treat his people correctly. Tell them the truth. Give them back what's been taken from them. It was never yours in the first place. Let's take a look at Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 2. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. When other people get this truth and get this understanding, the other nations are going to turn on Esau, and they're going to be greatly despised. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Most High. That's what we're looking at right now. Esau being very prideful, and now his whole situation that he set up for himself is crumbling all around him. There was a story today about the United States military taking over a North Korean vessel for going against the sanctions. And it's actually one of the first times that this has happened. Things are escalating quickly. They're putting more sanctions on Iran. Russia and China are not bowing down to the United States, and neither is Venezuela. And so as the standoff continues, who knows? We know that eventually World War III is about to break out. And anyone that had a hand in our destruction is going to be destroyed. That's what the scriptures say. Not my words. That's what the Bible says. That's what the other books say. Let me read a little bit more of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 10 through 17. This is why all these things are coming on the earth right now. This is why you're starting to see all of the madness and destruction. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Now this is what happened when they came over here and destroyed the northern kingdom here in the Americas, from South America to North America. That's what Obadiah 1:11 is also referring to. Listen to it and see what you hear. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou wast as one of them. Okay? But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother, in the day that he became a stranger. We became strangers in our own land. Foreigners came into our land and took it over. Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. So they did the same thing for Judah. They did it to the northern kingdom right here. Okay? And they did it to Judah too. Because in the day of their destruction, neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. So you got other people, you got the other nations, you got the other 9 tribes. Okay? In the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. So they not only took over our lands, they took over our lands, they took over our substance, they took over our crops, they took over our gold, silver, everything. This did not just happen to the southern kingdom, it also happened to the northern kingdom as well. Neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape. Neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress. So as we tried to run away, the Spaniards caught us, tortured us, killed us. They sicked their dogs on us. They destroyed our people, and they destroyed the record of this happening. But 15, here we go. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. So they came over here to the Holy Lands. And they just went crazy in the Holy Lands, defiling our lands, defiling our people. So again, for as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. So he's going to destroy them. He's going to make them destroy each other. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. So the things that you possess that are actually ours are going to be given back to us. You have the choice of trying to do it now and trying to receive some kind of mercy, or you're just going to lose it altogether when the Most High sends his son here to take it back. But that's what you're seeing now. That's what you're seeing with the Most High getting ready to do. Last thing I want to read is from Baruch. It goes along with what I just read in Obadiah. Baruch chapter 4. Verse 15. For he hath brought a nation upon them from far, a shameless nation, and of a strange language, who neither reverence old man nor pity child. Okay, that was originally the Spaniards, but eventually it became all the other Edomite countries as well. And their top 1 or 2% set up a society that raised up a few of their brethren above us and set up a whole 3-tiered society that is now crumbling at the end. And now many people that were stuck in that middle of this 3-tier society are angry and upset. And now the ones at the top have to try to disarm them before they realize the truth. Because that day the truth is really revealed, you're going to have a lot of very angry and upset people. Okay? Let me get this here. I want to read also Baruch 4:27. Be of good comfort, O my children, and cry unto the Most High, for ye shall be remembered of him that brought these things upon you. So the Most High is remembering us and waking us back up. For as it was in your mind to go astray from the Most High, so being returned, seek him 10 times more. For he hath brought these plagues upon you. Upon you shall bring. Let me read that again. For he that hath brought these plagues upon you shall bring you everlasting joy, again with your salvation. Take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for he that gave thee that name will comfort thee. Miserable are they that afflicted thee, and rejoiced at thy fall. There's the other nations right there, setting up that whole 3-tier system. Okay, they were happy. Okay, for as she rejoiced at thy ruin, and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation. So that's that whole thing right there, setting up the whole society for themselves and their underlings, for them to enjoy all the perks and benefits. But now that they realize that those perks and benefits are shriveling up, now you're going to have a whole lot of upset people. Okay? 34. For I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude, and her pride shall be turned into mourning. There's Esau being very prideful, and the Most High is going to turn that into mourning when he destroys all that she has built up. For fire shall come upon her from the everlasting, long to endure, and she shall be inhabited of devils for a great time. This is not just going to happen in the United States area. This is going to happen everywhere our people were taken to and destroyed. So, like I said, a lot of these people in the middle, and some of these people who are in the middle tier are also people who have joined themselves unto Esau. They fight to maintain Esau's system, and Most High gives them perks as well. See that? If you fight to maintain the system, even if you're our people, he'll still give you those perks. You know? So that's all part of it. You know, so it's not just his people, but also some of our own people. You know, that join the military. You know, they're fighting to maintain the 1 or 2% hold on the society. When you're in law enforcement, same kind of a thing. You have public office, same kind of thing. You're fighting to maintain Esau's system. So therefore, you receive some of the perks as well, thinking that one day you'll be able to be like the 1%, but you're never able to get to that point. But but the Edomites, the 1%, give you that dream. That dream is never going to come. Now that dream is about to turn into a nightmare. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother, who is wisdom, who is the Holy Spirit. Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Shalom.